And I'm so exhausted after 10 minutes that I don't even know against which goal we are playing. And they have to shout at me this direction, and the referee whistles after 1.5 hours. And I'm out of, the game is over, and I look and I have maintained my direction, my route. And I have not stumbled while I was working. And I was wading through rivers. And I was passing through stubble fields.
Even your dreams about soccer are like beautiful and inspirational. Like, I have a hard time believing you have...
No, they're not. Normally I'm on the losing team, but it doesn't matter.
I have a feeling Werner Herzog's most boring dream is more inspirational than all of our dreams we've had.
No. Dreams are the secret property of everyone. That's so beautiful, that makes us humans. Maybe dogs have some dreams. Some animals apparently also have dreams, and I wish I knew what they were dreaming.
I mean, this kind of feels like a dream. I'm glad that you brought up the 500-mile walk from Germany to France. It's kind of a thing of legend that just is in a long list, could even be a book, of kind of, you have this mythology and these kind of legends that surround you. Of course, one is when you pulled Joaquin Phoenix from a wrecked car.
That's only 10 minutes in my life.
Right. Yeah.
When you're the first car right behind a car that is out of control and flips over and spins in the air, and it lands on its roof. Of course, in this case, I was the first responder, and you better respond. And I ultimately dragged him out through a rear window, but by then already other people had arrived and they had cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone. But what happens, the car was upside down, airbags deployed, and he was fumbling with a cigarette and a cigarette lighter. And I said, can I have a cigarette lighter? No, and he wouldn't give it away. I distracted him and snatched it out of his hand, because what he didn't notice was that everywhere gasoline was dripping, and the car was really caved in. So you better do something prudent right away. But any one of you would have done the same. So there's nothing special about it. 3 days before that, I was shot during an interview. It was, nobody would believe if it hadn't been caught.
Wait, you were shot during an interview?
Yeah, on the BBC interview. You still can find it on YouTube, I think. And I said immediately, this is an insignificant bullet. It made its round on the internet and became viral. Actually, the bullet went through all my dress, everything, but didn't perforate all the way into my intestines. That would have been bad. But it was, somehow I was bleeding and I was badly bruised. And it hurt more than half a year later when I was laughing very hard. But you see, I did not concoct these things.
Right.
And I'm not into making mythologies. And the internet has a very strange quality to create this type of shorthand mythology, reducing a person to only that.
To a meme, yeah, which is a lot of what.
And I have to learn it, because in a conversation like that, fine, I can speak about it, but not when I'm in a live how do they call it?
Podcast. Yeah.
Podcast or something like that, where the internet community worldwide is tuned in. And you say something, you have a conversation about movies for half an hour, and at the end recently, the interviewer, a young lady, said to me, by the way, I'd like to show you a video on my laptop, and can you immediately comment to it?
Is this the Kanye West famous
exactly,
video?
And, yes, and I said, no, I cannot comment, let me see it first. So I saw it and I found it very extraordinary, and I said, who made it? Because there was some sort of a credit, and I read Kanye West. No, she said, no, it's Kanye West. And I made some intelligent remarks about how in the internet identity is not so clear anymore. You may even talking to a robot online, or you may talk to doppelgangers or mannequins of famous people in bed and sleeping. And then you have 3 minutes just of breathing and a slight snore. Very radical, really good stuff. Totally unusual. And it's what I always keep saying, the audience has to have the possibility in a movie to develop its own separate story, its independent story. I said these things. And it's something you have to understand as a filmmaker. And this is real good stuff here. And only this 30 seconds of talking about this rapper video all of a sudden was seen by millions. It's the only thing the web, the World Wide Web and the internet is interested in. So I have to learn how do I avoid ambushes like that. Second, of course, I do live on the internet in form of imposters and doppelgangers and voice imitators and Facebook, which is not me, Twitter, which is not me. So you just name it. And I do not feel this uncomfortable with it. I keep saying it's like my unpaid stooges, bodyguards, unpaid bodyguards. Let them do combat out there. But in our different age now of publicity and appearance in public, things have dramatically changed, and I have to learn very, very quickly, because I have 3 more films now, a part of the internet film that was released 3 weeks ago. I have 3 more finished films, 2 feature films, 1 more documentary. So, and of course, they will be shown within 3 weeks for the first time. And I will have to deal with media. And I have to learn very, very quickly what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm just reduced to the man who made some remarks about a rapper, Kanye West. Okay, but we should hand it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, right here.
Can you speak up loud? Or maybe I can give you this.
Thank you, sir. With 4 films coming out this year, what has caused such an increase in your output? What has caused you to create so many new films in such a short span of time?
He said with 3 to 4 films coming out, what's been kind of the inspiration to increase your output lately?
Well, I've always done a lot of films, but it's a statistical anomaly that I have 4 films within 4 weeks on release, presenting it at festivals or in theaters. Normally it's not like that, but how can I explain it? In a way, number one, I can work faster than before. I can edit much faster because digitally editing I can do almost as quickly, as fast as I'm thinking. A film like Grizzly Man, which is 1 hour 45 minutes long, I edited in 11 days. And so these things are possible. I write very fast. And the other side of it is the distribution systems always have been fairly slow. I mean, in the normal, in the old times of celluloid prints and art house theaters and distribution companies that would take my films, that was a little bit faster. But today the distribution system is only really functioning with the major studios when they do the huge event films. That's where it's really functioning. Very often, by the way, not, because they have monumental disasters, box office disasters as well. But this system, in principle, mechanically, it's still functioning. And what we see emerging are distribution systems on the internet. Netflix, for example, will distribute my new film on October 28th, I think, in 202 countries at once. And and other companies which do that. So I'm very attentive what is happening. It has certain downsides. You never have any direct feedback from your audience. Like here, I hear you laughing. When things are shown on the, or can be downloaded on the internet, you do not know who did it and did they laugh or not, and did they switch over to the football game halfway through it. You don't know. So that's all new things. But let me say one thing: still the best functioning system of distribution for movies is still piracy.
We had one over here. Yes, sir.
My name's Joe Overtown from Union, Oklahoma. I first discovered you in the mid-90s as an actor when I first fell in love with cinema in Healing Donkey Boy. But a decade later, I saw you again with some phenomenal improvisation and Mr. Lonely. Do you have any more future collaborations with Tommy Corinne or any more acting?
Yes, his question was about teaming back up with Harmony Korine, who you were in his film, Mr. Lonely.
And Julian Ducky Boy. It depends on him. He approaches me out of the blue and says, "I need you day after tomorrow. Act in my film." And I said, "What is it going to be?" "Yeah, you'll see." And I do it. But I have done some acting also in, for example, a Hollywood big commercial movie, Jack Reacher, with
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yes. Tom Cruise. And I was really frightening. I was paid handsomely to spread horror and fear, and I did that very well.
You were a
good.
great villain. Yes,
Yeah.
you were a great villain.
With Harmony, yes, Harmony Korine, such a talented young man, and he sees some sort of a mentor in me. And when I did Julian Donkey Boy, it's about a crazy family. Thank you very much. I will tell Harmony if I see him in 2 days in Telluride, possibly. I will tell him that he got applause from Oklahoma. And it's about a very crazed family, a young man who is schizophrenic, who has impregnated his sister and has committed murder, and a younger brother who is a complete loser, and grandmother Gaga, and me, the epicenter of hostility and dysfunction in the family. And we have a dinner, and they filmed it with 4 or 5 small digital cameras, and I saw the lights going on of the camera, and I see one was not switched on. And I asked Harmony, are we shooting already? And he nodded. And I said to him, "But Harmony, what's the scene all about?" I only knew I had to really put down my kids, really be hostile. And I said, "But what's the dialogue?" And he just shrugged and he said, "Speak." So I told the story of Dirty Harry, how he blasts the bad guy at the end of the film and asks him, "Do I feel lucky?" So it was a fine moment, but it would not have happened with anyone else but Harmony. He can spread some sort of a confidence to be completely crazy, and I would go for it. And in Mr. Lonely, I play a strange fanatical priest who dumps cargoes of food over starving native Indian villages, and nuns on board jump out of the plane and so full of faith that they land softly on the ground. And it's quite strange because I contributed to the film as well. Harmony was filming at the airfield, the arrival of the plane, and I was outside, and there was a fence around the airfield, and I saw a strange African, not American, but Panamanian, who had a little bunch of wilted flowers in his hand and was walking up and down and murmuring and rehearsing some sort of a speech. And I had the feeling connect with this man. And I said, sir, can we talk for a moment? It is wonderful that you are carrying these flowers. It turned out that since 2 years, every day he's at the airfield, at this little shack of an airport, and waiting for his wife to return. She bolted and left him, and he waits with flowers for her. And I said to Harmony, oh Harmony, you are just done with your shot in the airfield, come over, let's film this. And I'm still in the outfit of a priest. And I said to him, my son, would you like to be in a movie together with me? This is the director. And he said, yes, maybe my wife sees it. And she might come back. And I said to him, kneel down, my son, and confess what has happened. Why has your wife bolted? And he says, well, I don't really know, or something like this. And I said, my son, you had an affair with another woman. And he kind of says, no, not really. And I said, I know what, you had affairs with at least 5 of them, confess. And I give him my blessing, and he was happy and waited with his flowers thereafter. So those are moments you can only have in a film when you do it with harmony.
Well, now we gotta know, did you ever find out if his wife came back?
No, I do not. I hope she did. And he really felt sorry, and I said to him, confess you fornicated with at least 5 of them. And he said, yes. And he repented. So.
Ready?
Great fan of your remake of Nosferatu with Paul Your thoughts about Werner original 1922 Nosferatu? When you see it, or when you saw it, what did you think? What was your response to that?
The question was about your feelings when you first saw the original Nosferatu, which you very famously remade.
It's a very loose remake because I invented a lot of things that are not in Werner's film. But let's name it as it is, it doesn't matter. It in fact was Lotte Eisner for whom I walked to Paris when she was dying, who introduced me to the great films of the Weimar epoch, Fritz Lang, Murnau, Pabst. I always felt very close to Murnau instantly. Fritz Lang was too technical for me, too geometrical. A great filmmaker, obviously, but never touched my heart very deeply. And there are few who touch my heart, like, for example, Buster Keaton. And the weirdest of all maybe is Fred Astaire, because he's so insipid and the dialogues are so dull, and yet it's pure dreaming and pure beauty, and very few people